Hello, welcome to Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I'm Jimmy Pardo. This week, we're talking about my top 5 favorite summer songs.
We've got it on vinyl, CD and cassettes.
We've got pop, rock, heavy metal, punk, funk, rap, and new wave. All sales are vinyl, but you'll never regret all the music you get at Jimmy's Records and Tapes.
I'm loving music again. Hey there, welcome to Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I am Jimmy. Of course, you know these are records and tapes. I have a feeling this shirt's a little tight. We'll see how that affects the program today. These sleeves look a little Peter Pan-y, but it'll be all right. We're going to get by. It's going to be just fine. Talking about my top 5 favorite summer songs this week. These are songs with the word summer in the title, but yet they still feel like they are summer songs. Songs that you would hear at the beach, at a picnic, at a park, that sort of thing. Songs that I listened to growing up that very much remind me of summer, and being back playing Little League and that sort of thing. A song that does not make this list is Summer Nights from the movie Grease, which I love. I love that song. I love that movie. And I did, in grade school, we did kind of a, we didn't do the whole musical. We did little pieces of it. And I got to be Danny Zuko. I got to sing Summer Nights. Patty Randall did the Sandy role. I don't know what she's doing today. I hope she's doing okay. But the summer right before we did that is when I realized, you're a theater guy, not a sports guy. I was on the Little League team, and I was not good. My brother Mike was great. I was not good. And but I insisted on being a part of it because that's what everybody did. You were on the Little League team. And I'm not the tallest guy now. What am I, 5'4.5"? So back then, what was I, 2'2"? And I was called upon once to pinch hit in the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded with 2 outs. And the premise for the coach was, hey, Pardo's so tiny that he'll get the walk and we'll win the game. And he said to me, whatever you do, do not swing. Do not swing the bat. Whatever you do, don't swing. Just go up there and take the 4 balls and trot to first base, and you'll be the hero. And I was like, you got it, coach. More than happy to do it. So I get up there, and he even told me, shrink down as much as you can. So I shrink down, and strike 1 comes in. And it's like, oh, this isn't going as planned. Strike 2, definitely not going as planned. And then the pitcher's winding up, and I have a decision to make. Do I do what the coach said and leave the bat on the shoulder? No, that's not what I do. Here it comes. Whoo! Strike 3. I strike out. The team loses. The coach says, what were you thinking? And I was like, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I hack on 0-2. I'm not going to go down with the bat on my shoulder. And I was not on the team the next year. So I then, as I said, decided, I'm more of a theater guy than I am a sports guy and a music guy. So number 5 is In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry. Came out in 1970, went to number 3 on the charts. What a fun song. In the summertime, you think I would know at least one word of the 5 favorite summer songs. My son Oliver was in 5th grade at the time, and he came home from school, and I said, hey, how did school go today? And he said, well, we had music class. And I said, oh yeah, what'd you learn in music class? And he said, we learned about In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry. With all the bands of the world, we learned about Mungo Jerry. And I knew then, at some point, my son's going to be able to support me doing comedy because his timing was fantastic on that. And he's not wrong. Why are they learning about Mungo Jerry? Fine group, fine song. Seems weird to be teaching 5th graders. Number 4 is a haunting summer song. Very haunting. I use the word haunting a lot on these things. This is by Aha off their Minor Earth, Major Sky album, Summer Moved On. Just a haunting song by Aha. Again, if you don't know anything about Aha except for Take On Me, revisit them as a reminder, and it's important for me to bring this up every time I mention Aha. I once said, with all earnesty, it's time I admit Aha is one of my favorite bands. And I don't know how I'm still here. I should have been slit across the throat with a saber for that sentence. But number 4, Summer Moved On by Aha. Number 3, I'm as surprised as you guys are by this one. The Motels, Suddenly Last Summer. What a great song. That's it. I got nothing more to say. I got no story about it. I just think it's a great song. Suddenly Last Summer by I used to like when it would show up on MTV. it was kind of a break from the other stuff that was happening on MTV at the time. And so maybe that's why this song stuck with me. But I love it. Great song by the Motels. Number 2, Seals and Crofts, Summer Breeze. What a wonderful song, man. You literally picture yourself out in the backyard playing badminton or the like when you hear this song. Here's a fun piece of trivia. There was a little time there that I had I think we were on hiatus from a TV show I was working on, so I grew a little bit of a beard, and I would sing this to my wife and son, and I'm 90% sure I was asked to leave the house. I would sing Summer Beard over and over and over to the tune of Summer Breeze. Make me feel fine, rolling through the dry mud in my mind. I assume that's a keyboard. Maybe it's a guitar. I know it's not drums. And my number 1 favorite song with the word summer in the title, that is also a summer vibe tune, is, and I know this one gets a lot of heat. I know that he angered some people on Twitter in the past year because of what we're dealing with. I just think he didn't know what he was saying. At the same time, he changed history the way he explains this song. I'm talking about Bryan Adams' Summer of '69. A time where he talked about getting his first real 6-string. He bought it at the 5 and dime. I met Bryan Adams once, and he was a nice man. I was backstage, and I had his Reckless album to get autographed, and I had a black Sharpie, and he said, and I was the first guy to go up and say, "Hey, Bryan, will you sign this?" And he said, oh, you know what? I got a white marker that'll look better on that cover. Let me go get it. And the guy after me didn't hear Bryan say that, so he's like, "Oh, what'd you say to screw this up, man? I wanted to meet him too." I said, no, he's going to get a marker that's better. Oh, I don't believe it. And I felt so awful by this guy yelling at me, like, oh, maybe I did just screw something up, that I started walking away just as Bryan came back out of his dressing room and said, "Hey, where'd that little guy go? Hey, where's that little guy? I got my white marker." And then he signed my Reckless album. So he was a nice man there. But in regards to this summer of '69, he claims now that it's about the sexual position. And there's no way, Bryan. There's no way. I think you caved into peer pressure on people saying, "I think that's what it's about." And finally you just said, "Yeah," to shut them up. And now you tell that story. Because there's no way this song is about that. I refuse to believe it. But it is number 1 in my top 5 favorite summer songs, Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams. All right, it's time for this week's Jimmy's Choice. Again, this is where you, the viewer, tweet at me, at Jimmy Pardo, 2 artists that you want to see go head-to-head in the cage match, and who gets to stay and who gets to go pound salt, as my mom used to say. And again, if you want to tweet at me, at Jimmy Pardo, maybe one of yours will show up in a future episode of Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I don't know what the battle is until it shows up on my screen here. This week's is from at Samantha Delayed. At Samantha Delayed. Duran Duran versus Wham. Boy, oh boy. You know, look, Wham's one of my favorite bands ever. So I think it's an easy win that it's Wham. But it's hard to deny how great Duran Duran is. Duran Duran. Musically, and how beautiful John Taylor is. But how beautiful George Michael is. Let's not dismiss how beautiful both these bands members are. And even Andrew Ridgeley now, he's got that tan. You ever see him now? And he's got a tan that George Hamilton is jealous of. Jesus, Andrew Ridgeley has a beautiful tan. He's probably at Club Tropicana all the time, right? Drinks are free, man. Why would he ever leave there? He wouldn't. But then Duran Duran's musicianship. But then you got George Michael's songwriting. I'm going to go with Wham. I like Wham, makes me happy. And Duran Duran, I recognize for their musical prowess. But Wham makes me happy. So I'm going with Wham. This week's winner of Jimmy's Choice is Wham. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining me this week on Jimmy's Records and Tapes. If you liked it, click the like button. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Jimmy Pardo. You could, if you want to find out about tour dates, if that ever happens again, jimmypardo.com. And of course, I host the award-winning podcast, Never Not Funny. Until next time, the record's back in the sleeve.